Gail the Snail. You'd have to look twice when you meet Gail the Snail. People might think since she's slow, she's quite frail. But Gail is not frail, and Gail is not pale. She's a beast on a skateboard when riding a rail. From the rail she can clunk, bounce right off a pail, and with a shift of her weight, she can really whip that tail. A snail on a skateboard sounds like a tall tale, which is why you'll look twice when you meet Gail the Snail. Gail loves adventure, which is not for the frail. She can really cut loose, not so great for a quail. Zale is her quail friend, and it never will fail. Gail's crazy ideas make Zale's little wings flail. Zale's beak hung open as he listened to Gail, talking about taking a pail for a sail. And yes, this idea made Zale's little wings flail. He would rather fly off to a valley or vale. Gail tossed in her skateboard and slid onto the pail. The quail hopped aboard, and the pair then set sail. Bobbing and twirling went the snail and the quail. All of that stuff made Zale's tummy start to ail. Gail offered Zale a small clump of green kale. "Is this from the bale beside the old jail?" "Yes," said Gail as Zale turned more pale. "The kale from that bale is incredibly stale." Gail flung the stale kale as they spun in the pail. It was getting very windy. They were caught in a gale. You do not want to be floating in a pail in a gale. The snail couldn't hear Zale's quiet, worried wail. Yeah. Waves and rain splashed in their eyes and their pail. Squinting's what it's like when you see through a veil. There was no one to find them or follow their trail, and then all of the rain began to turn into hail. Gail's shell and her helmet kept her safe from the hail, and the upside-down skateboard protected the quail. With no bucket to bail all the rain and the hail, water kept filling their soaked, sinking pail. Things didn't look good for the snail and the quail as they sloshed in the sea in their ill-fated pail. Zale's name means sea strength, so he's brave and quite hale. Hail that means strong, not the icy hard hail. He scanned the horizon, and it seemed to the quail that he was getting the stink eye from a nearby blue whale. "It's a fluke!" shouted Zale to the adventurous snail. As Gail turned to look, she saw the great big whale tail. "Hello, Mrs. Whale," called Zale from the pail. "I'm a male," said the whale, "and my name is Dale. Setting sail in a pail in the middle of a gale is not very bright," said Big Dale the whale. "No kidding," said Gail. "Can you help us out, Dale?" "Not a problem," said Dale, and with a whisk of his tail, he lifted them up and emptied the pail. Seeing the skateboard, he said, "Can you ride a rail?" "With my skateboard I can," smiled Gail the Snail. "I got it on sale, and it came in the mail." Dale wished he was a skater, he told the snail and the quail, "but I'm just too big, I can really tip a scale." Dale kept Gail and Zale safe through the gale. Then Gail wore her helmet and did tricks for the whale. The jump that she used was a small piece of shale. The laser flip, she told them, was her own holy grail. There were several new tricks that Gail wanted to nail. She got gnarly rad hang time off the tail of a whale. Crowds came to watch drinking cold juice or ale, and Gail shared the cheers with her friends Zale and Dale. And that's right around the time big air skateboarding really started to take off.